Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Parikh. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Reverso Tribute to 1931 by J.J. Lecoultre. This watch was launched in 2011 for the 80th anniversary of the Reverso line. The watch is a manual wind movement with a 45-hour power reserve. The reference number is 277.8.62, and the case has a height of 46.6 millimeters, a width of 27.5 millimeters, and a thickness of 7.4 millimeters, which really makes this a very good dress watch. The lug width of this one is about 20 millimeters. And, in this overhyped market of steel sports watches, such as the Audemars Piguet and the Nautilus, this watch here is considered the original first steel sports watch. And some of the most iconic watches have a great story associated with them, and this particular watch with the Reverso is one such example. British military officers stationed in India during their downtime used to play polo, and one of the problems that they were facing was cracking the crystal on the watch during the game. They actually shared this problem with a Swiss businessman who was visiting India, and the businessman, his name was César Détré, and he basically took this problem back to Jacques-David Lecoultre, who was the owner of Lecoultre Manufacturing, and asked him if they could design a watch that would solve this problem. Lecoultre, in turn, hired the design firm Jaeger in order to create a reversible case for this watch. And Jaeger used the help of a French designer, René-Alfred Chauveau, to actually create a case, and he was the one who filed the patent for the Reverso case. And what is really cool is whenever the player wanted to use this watch during the game, all they would need to do is pop out the face, turn it around, slide it all the way, and lock it in place. Thus, you can actually use this watch pretty safely during the game. Once the game is over, flip it over and lock the case back in place, which is a very beautiful, very unique design cue. And this was in the early 1931 when this watch first came out. This particular watch is a re-edition of that very piece, hence the name Tribute to 1931. The watch has a very clean black dial, beautiful indices. It's got this Art Deco styling with the lines on the top and the bottom, and this railroad track style minute counter that runs around the watch, which makes this extremely beautiful. If you take the case back, there isn't really much going on, which makes this to be a fantastic canvas if you want to engrave something on here and personalize the watch. And if you actually slide out, you really have some very nice guilloche pattern on case back's resting area. If you turn the watch around, all you have is the name J.J. Lecoultre Reverso. This watch is 30 meters water resistant. It's got this twin butterfly type clasp that locks into place, and that's basically how this watch is secured on your wrist. I can put this watch on my wrist and show you a wrist shot. This is how the watch looks like on my 6¼ inch wrist. The watch actually wears really good. The case goes from the flat end of my wrist from the left to the right all the way and flares down a little. The strap itself has a tendency to flare out because of how it is positioned on these lugs, and it cannot articulate a lot, and because of that it actually flares out, but that actually helps because it doesn't wear too tight on the wrist. I think this makes for a fantastic wearing experience, especially with the thin profile. It makes for a really beautiful dress watch. I was really hoping to personalize this piece for my own taste, and something that I wanted to do on this watch was get some enameling done on the back. And this is something that most people may not know, but if you want to do enameling instead of engraving, you really want to go with a gold case watch. The reason is because you need to carve out the relief relief area where you put the enamel powder so that it can be fired in a furnace. And it is not possible to carve out such a deep relief on a stainless steel case. So stainless steel is more suited if you are planning to do engraving as opposed to enameling type case back. So something to keep in mind if you are thinking about adding such a piece to your collection. There are some beautiful variations of this watch that are currently on the market, particularly in the Tribute series. There are some with the burgundy color, green, blue through the years, and there are also dual face watches that are out there. But this was one of my early watches in my collection. I really love this piece. I like the aesthetic. It is a manual wind, therefore it does not get a ton of wrist time, but I'm okay with that. One thing I'd also like to add is something that I miss about this watch compared to some of the other watches in my collection is a running seconds hand. Short of really taking this piece and holding it up to your ear, it's very hard to tell if the watch is actually running. So that's something that I tend to do with this watch quite often whenever I wind the crown. 45-hour power reserves takes about 45 to 48 turns, and the watch actually gives you close to a 50-hour power reserve in my personal experience. I just wanted to share the experience of owning this watch. It is a beautiful, beautiful piece, something that is not very highly chosen by folks in the industry. I do not understand why. The Reverso is an icon, arguably, in my opinion, just as good as, if not better, than pieces like the Royal Oak or the Submariner, for instance, from Rolex. They're not in the same category, but in terms of brand name and a prestige that goes along with this, it is definitely a very cool, very unique piece. If you are new to my channel, I would really appreciate if you can like and subscribe. 90% of the folks who actually watch my videos aren't subscribed, and it would really, really help if you do hit the like button and hit the subscribe and the bell icon, and you will be notified on future videos. I had taken a little bit of a hiatus in posting videos, mostly because of some personal reasons, but I am back, and we'll try to get some of these videos posted more frequently so that the users can enjoy the content. That's it. Thank you very much, and take care.